beauties, and I'm so excited to be speaking here today at Global Wellness Day. I've been participating for the past few years. It is my great honor to be with you today. My name is Kimberly Snyder, and I'm a New York Times bestselling author, the founder of Saluna, which is a holistic lifestyle brand, and a holistic lifestyle expert. The topic for today is how to truly feel good in your daily life, and I mean really feel good. So with the rise of mindfulness and wellness, I think there's a lot of positivity, but I also see a lot of confusion. And a lot of people don't really know what wellness is. And maybe you've chased a specific goal, like following a diet or getting to a certain weight or getting to a certain fitness level or whatever it is. And then you get there and you're like, I actually don't feel good still. There's something missing here. And I can completely understand because I have been in the same boat, which I will share with you in just a moment. But first, I want to share that to me, and this is after years and years of introspection and working with hundreds, thousands of different people and clients and readers all around the world, both men and women, my conclusion is that the way to truly feel good, truly and really feel good, is to nurture the wholeness that is you. What I mean by that is we are not fragmented beings, not just one part of us or this part. This disconnection is what creates a lot of confusion and anxiety and running from one thing to the next and still never really feeling good. We are whole beings. So we are physical, mental, and emotional, and spiritual, and sexual, and all these different layers of us. And when we really nurture the wholeness that is us, that truly feels good because it means we are coming home to our true nature. So what I have created to help make this practical and to support you in your everyday life is what I call my 4 cornerstones of true wellness and true beauty. They are food, body, emotional well-being, and spiritual growth. And together as a system, it gives us a framework for being able to focus on each area of our life and to nurture each area so that that wholeness and that holistic approach will bring us back to truly and honestly, not just BS saying it, but truly and honestly feeling good and feeling well. So the way that a lot of us begin the wellness journey, because it's physical when you can smell it and eat it, and we need to eat every day, is of course food. And that was the beginning of the journey for me. My first 2 books were very focused on food, and previous to that, I had eating disorders and very unhealthy relationship with food in many ways, including obsessions and calorie counting and tracking and all sorts of things. And so, as we say, we're, usually drawn to something that can heal us. So I was drawn to becoming a nutritionist initially because I really wanted to heal my relationship with food. And I did. I was able to really understand digestion and whole foods, and I teach that in my first 2 books. But what happened was I started going down this path and I started to master food. But I was like, I still have anxiety and insomnia, and something is still very, very off here. So I continued to research and to study and to introspect. And what I found was that we can keep going deeper and deeper down the food tunnel, but we will only get so far. Instead of going deeper down one cornerstone, it becomes necessary to reach our goal of feeling good, to go wider and to become more holistic. So in my 3rd book, I started exploring these concepts of the mind-body connection and the role of the mind in food cravings and chakras and energy centers. I was just starting to expand. Same thing with the 4th book, which I co-authored with Deepak Chopra, which had a lot of a big spiritual element to it, as well as Ayurvedic medicine. And then the 5th book, and then the 6th book, which I'm editing right now. So it keeps expanding and expanding, and my work and what I have seen time and time again, I believe this 1,000,000%, I wholeheartedly get behind this, is that we really need to nurture all of the cornerstones to feel good. And what happens is if we ignore one or two, usually for a lot of us, it's the emotional well-being / mental health cornerstone. We tend to obsess over one or two of the other ones. So a pattern I have seen time and time again is we're not, again, nurturing the emotional well-being cornerstone. So we tend to obsess about food, perhaps even going as far as having eating disorders such as myself, or we obsess over our bodies and the shape of our bodies and the musculature and the weight and all of that, because these things have a density to them. They're physical, so we can see them. It's easier to obsess about something that we can see in front of our face. But the way of healing, the pathway of truly, truly feeling good. And by the way, the name of my podcast is the Feel Good Podcast. And I've interviewed hundreds of different experts around this central concept. The way to feel good is to take this wider, holistic approach, which again, nurtures the wholeness that is you and all the layers of you. I don't care if you have the best diet in the world and you eat perfectly, or you have the most beautiful body. But if you don't also pay attention to the emotional and spiritual part of you, which I'll get into in just a moment, you'll always feel disconnected and frustrated, and that there's a lack of meaning and clarity and purpose in your life, perhaps, and that you will never really feel good in the way that intuitively I know you want to feel good. So let's go through the cornerstones, and I'll give a little bit of practical information in each one. So the food one is obvious, and we don't need to talk about this one so much, although I'll give some seasonal tips. Remember that you are a whole being, and so in nurturing ourselves from a food perspective, we want to choose whole foods. So this means beautiful. I am a plant-based eater myself. Largely, I would encourage you to be largely plant-based, at least be very veggie-centric, plant-centric, fruit-centric, if not fully plant-based. There's many reasons for this today, but I won't get into all of them, but of course the environmental reasons, compassion reasons, as well as health reasons. But nonetheless, whatever ratio of plant foods you personally choose, I encourage you to really make them whole and unprocessed. So you don't need to have a million fancy recipes and restaurants at your disposal. I myself eat very simply. And if you choose really whole, fresh, alive foods, you're really going to support that fresh aliveness in your body. The food that you eat has a quality, it has the ability to impart that energy into you. So it's supportive, and it's important to just choose whole foods as much as possible. Eat simply, which is great for your digestion. And you won't deplete yourself by using too much of your energy up in digestion with complicated foods or too many items that you may be trying to digest in one meal. So fresh, simple, whole, think that. And again, the food cornerstone is important because we all need to eat every day, but it's not the end all be all. So then we move to our next one, which is body. Body is everything besides food. As humans, we're meant to have an embodied experience right now. So that means we want to be connected to our body's needs. The way that we exercise, the way that we sleep, the way that we take care of our skin, the supplements that we take, all of this fits into the body cornerstone. And one thing I'll say here is that it's really important to remember that your body is unique and unlike anyone else's. So maybe a food or an exercise routine works for your best friend or for your mother-in-law or your, brother or whoever else, but it may not work for you. So I encourage you to keep checking in with your body, and you can actually ask your body a question, and you can see a feeling or a sensation, because the body has so much wisdom, but we don't often tune into it. We don't even think to ask it questions. We go about it in a very mind-centric way, which bypasses a lot of that intuitive wisdom. So I encourage you to continue to check in more and more with your body on a daily basis, and that will guide you in the best ways to care for your magical, sacred bodily temple. Our third cornerstone is emotional well-being, mental health. And this is the one that I think gets ignored the most, or, largely the most, depending on, who I'm talking to. But this is where we really digest our feelings. This is where we tune in to our hearts And this is where we are able to not be so reactive and not be so prone to stress and the buildup of stress, which we all now know contributes, of course, to inflammation and all sorts of degenerative chronic diseases and accelerated aging and so many different facets of life that we want to avoid, of course. So just the way that we digest food, and none of us are taught this. We need to digest our feelings. We live in a world of distraction and endless entertainment. So if something feels uncomfortable, it's easy to turn to Netflix or to text a friend or to go on YouTube or whatever. But instead, emotional digestion means we sit with that feeling so it doesn't get stored up in our body like a toxin. And we don't go to the head and all the justifications of the mind and the ego. We sit in our bodies and we feel, and then we let go. And the more consistently we do that, the more we become lighter and lighter, the more we are able to focus and to feel clarity, not just in our daily life, but also in our bigger life decisions. And if we ignore, again, that part of us, the emotional well-being, but we say, oh, but I just need to exercise more and focus on food, what happens is we never really get the results that we want, because the emotional body, this aspect of us, also directly affects, as I just mentioned, aging and hormones, fertility, our ability or inability to lose weight. There's a million different ways that our emotional state, although we cannot see it, has a profound effect on our wellness and our ability to feel good or to not feel good. And fourth is spiritual growth. And they're all important. All the cornerstones are important. But if there's one that supersedes the rest, it is this one. And I'm not talking about, religion or dogma or any sort of specific philosophy. I'm talking about all the ways in which we connect in with ourselves, your true essence, what the yogis call the true self, which is beneath the surface, beneath the looks and the appearance and the job titles and the money we make and, all this stuff. There is a much, much deeper place that is you. And when you connect with that, and the primary way that I teach this connection is through meditation, it's what really works, the more we feel good and the more we balance the other cornerstones. So when I started to meditate more, it really transformed my relationship with food. It's what helped me heal past all these different unhealthy obsessions and ways of looking at food. It's what helped to heal my emotions. I connected in and I was able to find deep love and compassion and to forgive others and to forgive myself. And I started to feel a lot more connected to my body. So I encourage you to really foster a meditation practice, morning and evening, even if it's for a few moments or minutes, 5 minutes. It's just a wonderful way to start getting on that track of really nurturing this connection with the innermost part of you that will outwardly benefit all parts of your life. And I mean all parts, from your physical body shape to your friendships, your relationships, your family, your ability to focus, your ability to feel joyful and peaceful in everyday life, and all the things that you want. Feeling confident, feeling beautiful, all of it really comes from this connection point. So to support you, I have created a lot of free meditations. You can check them out on our Saluna by Kimberly Snyder app. Just in the App Store, you can download it, you can check them out. There's also a membership portal there, which I encourage you to check out if you feel called to it, called our Saluna Circle. Here's where I give a lot of daily support. We have daily tips and chats, a live Zoom call, meditations, elixir recipe, and journal prompts specific to every month's theme. So in May, our theme is steering the direction of your life and discovering your life's calling. So I would love to connect with you more. Please check out the app. Please check out the Saluna Circle. And as we close up here, I just want to leave you with a little bit of a summary of what we talked about today, which is the pathway to truly feeling good. It doesn't have to do with just one number like your weight or your salary or how fit your body is. This is fragmentation. This is like, oh, okay, I have this, and this, and that will never really feel good to you. What will feel good to you is honoring and embodying this wholeness of all different parts of you, physical and spiritual and mental and emotional and sexual, and nurturing it in a holistic way. That is your power. That is your true beauty. And when you feel your wholeness, you will feel the truth that you are unique and beautiful and whole just as you are. So in practical terms, I encourage you to take one step, at least one step that speaks to you in each of the cornerstone. So one step forward in food, whether that's, eating more raw plant food this season of spring specifically, or drinking hot water with lemon in the morning, or whatever. Body, taking time to do a walk in nature every day, or to dial in your sleep routine, or whatever it is, whatever speaks to you. Emotional well-being wise, journaling for 5 minutes a day and processing your feelings is a beautiful start there. And spiritual growth, I encourage you to get into a meditation practice. Again, even if it's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. So I would love to connect with you more. As I mentioned, check out the app. Also on social @ Kimberly Snyder. It has been such a great honor to be with you today here on Global Wellness Day. Thank you so much for being with me today. Sending you so much love and so much gratitude. Namaste.